Well, I figured I might as well go ahead and do this rear suspension. So, John here, Hot Rods in the Woods, playing with the back end now. So if you watched my last video, you saw me remove the front suspension. Some of it fell apart, some of it I had to beat like crazy with a hammer. But we're moving forward. So on that note, I've got so much stuff for this car spread all over this barn, it's amazing. So that being said, my plan of the day is I'm going to try and do this the simple way. I go get my hat so you don't have to look at my bald head. Not only that, I don't know why, but I just wear a hat. Actually, I'll change hats. So I got the wood stove going. It's about 60 degrees outside. It's 74 in the barn. I had to turn the thing down. It's too much. I can't take the heat. I'm wearing pants once again because it's cold in the morning. A buddy of mine came up from Florida, and I believe that it's his fault. The reason I say that is because every time he comes up, we get a cold snap. It goes from being high in the upper 70s and low in the 60s to all of a sudden it's 32 degrees. Jay, this has got to be your fault. So, that being said, now I can't find my hats. All right, found the hat. So, here's the plan. Let me zoom you up close here. I'll sneak on by. You get glimpses of old bald fat man. Let me close this up. Of course, I've got this axle in the way. That one there. Let's crank it down a ways. Zoop. And I'll put you right here. Now we're going to do this part a little different. What I'm going to do is, the front of the frame is jacked up and blocked. That's fine. My next plan of attack is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the two ladder bar supports in the front, and I'm going to take the 4 U-bolts out that hold the spring. That way I can pick the frame off, and with the frame off, then I can disassemble the spring and all. A little different than doing it the way I did on the front. So that should go fairly quick and easy. I'll grab a socket. We'll see what size those U-bolts are. And if they're anything like the back, they're the same size. I'm going to grab a smaller ratchet this time because I think I can. I could be wrong. But they look to be 15/16. Ooh, it's hot over here next to that fire. Let's see what happens. That's what I thought. Oh, did you see it all shift? So they're 7/8. Well, at least I got it loose. We'll grab another socket. Now, the butchery continues on these back ones because, as you'll see when I lift it up, I think they removed all of the springs, but maybe 1 or 2. I know there's one. It looks like there's another one up in here, but you can actually look up in there and you can see somewhere just cut. And I think the reason they cut them is because the way they stack, they've got to be up in there. Otherwise, the bottom piece doesn't hold the springs in, right? So, another Harbor Freight ratchet. Swivel head, 1/2 inch. shorty. I can't imagine what it costs from Snap-on or Mac. Now there's some sort of a saddle or something that fits up in there. I don't know what it is. It's probably going to end up falling on my toes. Another note, just because I'm right here looking at it, I know you've all done it, whether it's the U-bolts for the rear differential or if it's just the straight bolts and saddles. I have lost so many of those in the midst of a build. It's crazy. So it's not a bad idea to just do that. Just put them where they go. That way, no matter where you put the rear end, you'll know. I don't know if you can see that. I'll bring it over. This explains why he cut all of the leaf springs. This fits under the channel. The bolt goes over top of the U. So you have to have that much space stacked with springs or whatever. Otherwise, it won't be in there tight. So, he actually did something that made it tight. But of course, these also call for cotter pins, which I notice are missing. And 1 out of 2 ain't bad. All right, so that was easy. Now I'll get the magnet so I don't have to bend over. And I will get the piece that fell on the ground. And then I'll zoom back up there and we'll pull those 2 bolts. And then the rear end will be loose. I don't have to worry about brake lines or anything, because as you watched in the other video, that was some Mickey Mouse. I've removed all of that garbage. So, in mere moments, all right, I'm going to guess here that those bolts actually look maybe just a little bigger than the ones that were holding the whole front end together. And we're going to try a 5/8. And then we're going to get a ratchet. Yeah, because I don't think I can use a gun on either side. So I got a ratchet. And I'll get a wrench. Get the right size wrench. You guys have noticed a lot that I end up going back to my toolbox. That is from shades of being a flat rate mechanic. When you're turning wrenches for dealerships, the only way you get paid is by production. And if you have all your tools scattered on the bench or out in the yard or in the back, or some in the back of your truck and on your wife's car or whatever, you don't make as much money. So in order to be able to go right to exactly where you need to be and get that tool, you just put them away. And it becomes almost ridiculous because you just had it in your hand 5 minutes ago and now you've already put it away. But once you get in the habit, you'll find it saves you a bunch of time because you can't exactly remember where you left it. But if you put it in your toolbox, you know the next time you go to grab it, it's right where you left it. And you'll very seldom see a line mechanic with a messed up shop. Now mine, for a long time, if you look down in my videos for my 57, I forgot my roots. And it was, I'm constantly complaining, where's that? Can't find it. And now I do occasionally misplace something. Like I think I did just a little while ago looking for, oh yeah, I was looking for a different pry bar. Couldn't find it. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Well, it wasn't that I didn't put it away. It's that I didn't look good enough. All right, that one will need a little smack. So we'll put these tools away, we'll grab a magnet, we'll get the rest of those nuts and washers up. Oh, another thing it does is at the end of the day, you don't have to clean up after yourself. You don't have to go and put all your tools away because you already did. So you go right from working to hand me a beer with no interlude of, ah, geez, I gotta clean this mess up. I gotta pick this stuff up. Nope, none of that. So I'll put these in the suspension bucket of garbage. Well, I think I already told you, I'm going to go through this stuff that came off of this car. And there's a bunch of good, well, I just got a bunch of 1/2-inch washers off of that stuff that's supposed to be 3/8 or 7/16. But washers are washers. Now, what I do with old washers is I'll put them all in a little bucket, and I can throw them in my bead blaster, and I can bead blast them, and they look like new. The only problem with that is, of course, they have no rust protection, so you don't want to use them where they're going to be in the weather much. But as far as the bolts and stuff go, unless it's a specialty bolt, they all go in a bucket. 50 years from now, somebody will see that bucket and say, hey, there's a bucket full of bolts. What do I do with that? And they'll put it in their garage for years and years, and they might find something in there they need to use, but more than likely they won't. And there you have it, folks. The rear end is loose. Now, if I just push down on this, there it is. Now, if I had help, I could pick the frame up and slide it right on out of here. But I think what I'll do, being as I've got this cross member loose, I'm going to go ahead and cut this cross member out right at the sides. I don't know what I'll use it for. No, I won't. I'll leave it right where it is. I don't need it. I have new brackets for the front. I have new brackets for the rear of those ladder bars. So there's no sense. Now, another friend / acquaintance of mine, I don't know if I've told you this already, I think I did, has a 67 Dodge Dart convertible that I'll be putting a 440 in the spring. I've got the engine and transmission here already. I'll be freshening the engine. We're just going to throw a little roller cam in it. I do have a 2 4-barrel intake to put on it if we so decide. I just think that'd be a lot of fun. But just like my gasser, I'll take you over there because I just love looking at this silly old thing. Just like this one, instead of 2 4-barrel carburetors. I mean, how cool is that? Come on, guys. I'd like to go ahead and do 2 500 2-barrels. I think if I do that, it'll be drivable. This is that manifold, and I just threw that set of cross ram adapters on it that I just happened to have. Originally, that was the plan on the Chrysler. I was going to put those on the top, which would really look silly. But anyway, I think 2 2-barrels on it would work real nicely. Make it real good driver, still 1,000 CFMs. But anyway, story for another time. Okay, so we're back to here. Now I can go ahead and take the other bolts off the ladder bars, which I'll do now. Then I'll have the ladder bars in my hands. Once again, craziness. Whoever did that part, or whoever ordered those parts, they're nice stuff. There's nothing wrong with them. What's wrong is the brackets. The brackets are just Mickey Mouse. So the front cross member, obviously is purchased just the way it is. It comes with the pipe with these already mounted. It does not come with the plates on the side. You make that fit your car. I can tell that because the welds on the middle are beautiful. The welds on the outside, not so much. I could reuse it just the way it is and put a panhard bar on it. The problem with that is the brackets on the rear differential are garbage. I can grind them and weld them, which may be an alternative as of yet, but I just don't know for sure that I want to play that game. It's such a crapshoot. I can regrind them and I can weld them. And if I do that in a panhard bar, that actually would be pretty sweet. But I think having them straight out would be better. I'll have to do a little bit of engineering and see which way. It would end up a triangulated 3-link, right? Yeah, be triangulated 3-link instead of a tri-link. Now I could go with instead of a panhard bar. No, the panhard bar is the way to go. This is how I go through this process. If I go with it exactly the way it is, the frame on the other one is boxed. I can remake this stuff so it works. No, I can't. Okay, there is a reason for this, and now I remember. The drive shaft hit under here because this is placed wrong. It's probably okay because I'm going to set the engine down farther, but the necessity it says it doesn't need to be there. So no, we aren't going to do that. We're going to go with the original plan. We're going to square it up. All right, there's that decision. See how that works? You got to just go through all the memory banks and realize that that's what happens. So as of right now, if I were to do this, well, it feels like it's a little jammed in there. But I would be able to pick that right out of there somehow. But it's wedged. It was wedged before. Oh, I know why. It's wedged because of the springs being cockeyed. If I put a jack stand under here or under the pinion, I can probably get it. I will get some help for that because I don't want it falling. All right, so that was a quick, easy on removal of the rear differential. Now I'll go ahead and take the bolts out of the rear ladder bars and get those ready for the new rear suspension. So thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. I don't know about that little bell. You can click the bell and maybe something will happen. It'll go ding ding. Hey, there's a new video. I have never clicked the bell myself. I just always go searching, but that might make it easier on me. I'll have to try it. Maybe you can too. Okay, so I removed the ladder bars and then I went ahead and undid the rear spring, of course, as you saw, and I just picked it up and poof. Well, I don't know how you could expect that to work. Notice that the center leaf spring is not attached in the middle, and then the other leaf spring is cut completely out. So basically all of the suspension was just that one leaf, and it barely did anything. I just don't understand the thought process behind that. But anyway, we're going to make it all better with nice QA1 coilovers. So that is the end of disassembly, my friends. So now it's time to start. Well, it's not the end. I still have to cut the old brackets off. We'll get the new frame in here and we'll start mocking everything up so we can make her pretty and make it right. So thanks for watching.